Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm glad you could take this time with me as these next few minutes, I want to talk to you about contentment. I love the definition of the word contentment out of the Holman Bible Dictionary. The Holman Bible Dictionary defines contentment as an internal satisfaction without demanding changes in external circumstances. Let me repeat that. An internal satisfaction without demanding changes in your external circumstances. In the Bible, in Philippians chapter 4, verse 11, the Apostle Paul writes to us and he says, "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am in." But when we read this in context, as this is an often quoted Bible verse as it relates to contentment, Paul is saying to us out of this verse, there are those who desire to care for him, but they lack the opportunity. And so he writes saying that I have an internal satisfaction. You want to care for me, but you lack the opportunity. But I have an internal satisfaction of contentment. I think he teaches us so much in this about having that internal satisfaction. I believe what the Apostle Paul is saying to us and what we need to learn from this is that he was saying it wasn't that he didn't want what they had to offer, and it wasn't that he didn't need what they had to offer, but he had internal satisfaction with his circumstances. You and I can find contentment in that way. The Apostle Paul is letting us know that within us there can be this internal satisfaction. And I really love that definition because his circumstances were not going to dictate his attitude. His circumstances was not, they could not take away his purpose. He was not going to allow it to rob him of his joy of living in that moment. He would not allow it to rob him of living with intention. You and I can have that same attitude as we live our everyday lives, learning to find contentment in our circumstances. Now, I want to make this clear what the Apostle Paul is not saying. He is not saying that we accept mediocrity in our lives, that we accept toxic relationships, that you and I negate the responsibility of circumstances that we have the opportunity to change. You and I need to take hold of that. But you and I also need to find this way of having internal satisfaction in circumstances that we cannot change and yet live intentional, live in the moment, and live on purpose because God has purpose in our lives. He has given us gifts. He's given us opportunities. And we can't allow the circumstances to rob us of the moment of living with intention. What Paul says later in verse 12, after he says, "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am in." He says there is a secret to this contentment that he has found in all of his circumstances. He says this, "I know how to have a little and I know how to have a lot." Paul says, whatever the moment that comes in my life, I know how to live in that moment. I know how to live with intention. I know how to not allow my circumstances to dictate my purpose. He says, I know how to have a little, I know how to have a lot, and I have found the secret of contentment. I want to go back and reference that Bible dictionary again. Internal satisfaction. Are you living in that place in your life where you have internal satisfaction, where you have found contentment? Because we all have circumstances in our lives that we would like to change, but we have no control over changing them. They are what they are. But we have circumstances that we can change. And I want to challenge you to not live in the mundane, to not live in mediocrity, to not allow every day to come as a gift from God and you not embrace every moment and live it to the fullest. Paul says, I have an internal satisfaction. I want to ask you, do you have that internal satisfaction? Well, I want to tell you how you can grow and how I can grow in living in contentment and having that internal satisfaction. You can join me September 15th from 9:30 to 1 o'clock at Signature Grand in Davie for our Live with Intention workshop. Being content, finding freedom, living in freedom, not allowing our circumstances to dictate who we are and how we live. Why don't you join me? There's going to be a full breakfast and so much more. Paula Hammond, who is a forgiveness artist who uses the art, her gift of art to teach us how to work through circumstances and situations in our lives. She will be there to take us through a project together. And then I'm going to bring a message on contentment that you do not want to miss. Now, you can get all of this by going online at livewithintention-inc.com. Let me repeat the website again, livewithintention-inc.com, and you can register online. Just click events. You can register, sign up a girlfriend, sign up your mother. This is for women from ages 16 to whatever age you're still on earth. You have purpose. You need to be there. You can register online, and I want to invite you to join me. Listen, and let me make it clear. Space is limited. There is no registration on site, so you need to register today. Also, you can subscribe to my website where I will send you monthly newsletters on how to live with intention. And on the website, there's a blog. There's shared stories of women who are navigating through their lives with purpose. And you will be surprised and so encouraged to learn of what women are walking through, and men are going to start posting their stories, because Live with Intention is for everybody. It's just that this first workshop is just for women. So I want you to join me with contentment. Remember, internal satisfaction without demanding changes in external circumstances can change your perspective on how you live life. Today, make sure you live with intention. I hope to see you soon.